All right, it's been a while since I've done this, but let's go. Let's do another Bible contradiction. I think I've done the first three. I'm not sure, and this one is too long. I can't understand what they're getting at there. But here we'll go to this one: the power of God. With God, all things are possible. Matthew 19, verse 26. Let's just make sure, right? 19 verse 26, but Jesus beheld them and said unto them, with men this is impossible, but with God all things are possible. And obviously the atheist, they don't believe this. And so let me blow this up a little bit so you can see it. All right, and then this apparently contradicts this, I think is what they're trying to get at. And the Lord was with Judah, and he drave out the inhabitants of the mountain, but could not drive out the inhabitants of the valley because they had chariots of iron. Judges 1, verse 19. So let's confirm that. And the Lord was with Judah, and he drave out the inhabitants of the mountain, but could not drive out the inhabitants of the valley because they had chariots of iron. All right, real simply, I think we can look at this and just go. And Judah went with Simeon his brother, and they slew the Canaanites that inhabited Zephath and utterly destroyed it, and the name of the city was called Hormah. Also Judah took Gaza with the coast thereof, and Ascalon with the coast thereof, and Ekron with the coast thereof. And the Lord was with Judah, and he drave out the inhabitants of the mountain, but could not drive out the inhabitants of the valley, because they had chariots of iron. And they gave Hebron unto Caleb, as Moses said, and he expelled thence the three sons of Anak. Okay, so anyways, very simply put, this is in context, very clearly talking about Judah. Judah drove out the inhabitants of the mountain, but could not drive out the inhabitants of the valley because they had chariots of iron. So the Lord could have done whatever, but this was what Judah was doing, and this isn't saying the Lord couldn't drive out the inhabitants of the valley. It's saying Judah couldn't drive out the inhabitants of the valley. It's talking about Judah. Okay. All right. I mean, the Lord could have done whatever, but this was about Judah and what was happening. This is an accurate historical account. It's not saying God just couldn't do it. No, it's not saying that at all.